join the Indian Navy. And my family, friends have been very, very proud, and to see, to have me there working on field, which was really nothing. I've come from a very privileged and pampered background. So have me working on field, sweating it out with the workers was something that even I did not know I had it in me. And somehow Indian Navy really brought it out through the training and all the sessions that we had. It really came out and I got transformed. So there's some part of me which was there inside of me which I never knew. So that got tapped into and really explored.
Zubaida Bibi, a rural woman entrepreneur from Jammu and Kashmir, shared her story of transformation from rearing animals to becoming an entrepreneur in the domain of printing, and also shared how more and more women are joining her ranks and making a mark as entrepreneurs.
पहले तो घर में ही काम करते थे, मवेशी रखी है हमने, बच्चों का मतलब गाय भैंस का काम करते। फिर 2018 में हम उम्मीद परिवार से जुड़ के उसके बाद हमने लोन वगैरह लिया, औरतों को जोड़ा, किसी ने शॉप खोला है, किसी ने मवेशी ली है, ऐसे कोई ना कोई बिजनेस तो मैं करती हूँ, स्क्रीन प्रिंटिंग का काम। हम बहुत अच्छे रहते हैं, हम जम्मू में ही रहते हैं, कश्मीर में नहीं, डिस्ट्रिक्ट जम्मू में रहते हैं, लेकिन हिंदू मुस्लिम सिख ईसाई सब हम बिल्कुल मिल के रहते हैं। ऐसा कोई नहीं है कि जैसे कल भी पूछ रहे थे वहाँ हम सुनते हैं ये हो गया वो हो गया, ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है, बिल्कुल अच्छे से रहते हैं।
The Mission Director of Jammu and Kashmir Rural Livelihood Mission under the Ministry of Rural Development and Panchayati Raj Ministry gave an insight into the teething challenges faced in getting the rural women of J&K on board, and into how those challenges were overcome through credit extension.
Initially, when the scheme started in 2014, there was a big mental block, as in these girls would have, they don't participate very eagerly, they didn't participate then. But now, because all the doubts and everything is clear, and the credit which the financial institutions give them, wholeheartedly support them, and the non-performing asset percentage of these women is 1%. So they are employable, and the banks and other financial institutions think them take them as an employable category. And she is not the only one. This is what I also said in the room, that every block has a success story in Jammu and Kashmir, and for the last 2-3 years now they are eyeing for a 10 lakh loan. So this shows that they are very eager to be part of the mainstream.
The session's moderator Padma Vibhushan and Rajya Sabha MP Sonal Mansingh asserted that the lost glory of women needs to be brought back. The 2-day Women 20 meeting in Maharashtra's Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar aims to bring together women from across the world to find solutions to the common challenges that over 50% of the world's population faces. Shreya Upadhyay's report from Maharashtra for DD India.
The Women 20 inception meeting got underway at Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar in Maharashtra, and the Women 20 delegates participated in the heritage tour of Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar city. The city is known as the City of Gates, and delegates passed through Delhi Gate, Rangeen Gate, Barapulla Gate, among others. Delegates also visited Aurangabad Caves and Bibi Ka Maqbara as part of the city heritage tour. Delighted by the heritage and hospitality of the city, the delegates said India's welcome is one of the warmest. The primary objective of the meeting is to ensure that gender considerations are mainstreamed into G20 discussions and translated into the G20 leaders' declaration. Our correspondent Shama Mishra reports on the heritage tour.
Well, it's day 2 of the W20 session, and we can see here that the delegates had come for the heritage walk at Bibi Ka Maqbara.
I think honestly it's even more beautiful than the Taj Mahal in Delhi. I was there, I saw it, and I think this is the much more beautiful, and I'm so happy and glad to be here.
Bibi Ka Maqbara was built in 1660 by Aurangzeb for his wife, and as we know that Bibi is a lady and tomb because it's the Maqbara, and so literally it is the tomb of the lady, and this is one of those most captivating architecture here of Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar. And likewise, because we know that this city is known as the City of Gates, so all these delegates were taken to Delhi Gate, Barapulla Gate, Gate, Rangeen Gate and other gates, and they were also taken to Aurangabad caves where they got to know about the Buddhist caves and the heritage that India or Maharashtra has. With camera person Amol Deshmukh, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, Maharashtra.
Women 20 delegates, members, special invitees and other guests were also taken to the heritage sites of Aurangabad Caves. Nestled in the lap of verdant hills, Aurangabad Caves are a historian's delight. Located to the north of the city, they are a set of 12 Buddhist caves dating from the 3rd century AD. The mystic aura of the caves mesmerized the Women 20 delegates. Listen in to some of their reactions.
Beautiful heritage place, I mean, very impressive, very old, and the origins of a religion where it's put together, and then you can do yoga for today. That's great.
India is lovely. I like very much India, and your hospitality is the first in the world.
It's a very peaceful and amazing place just to feel yourself, to relax, to think about women empowerment and how all together we can achieve more women's rights for women and girls.
DD India correspondent caught up with Rajya Sabha MP Dr. Sonal Man Singh, who had welcomed the international delegates by bowing her head in namaskara, symbolic of the Indian idea of identifying the God within each one of us. She, along with Women 20 India chair Dr. Sandhya Purecha, launched a coffee table book called Avaya, highlighting the
Rajya Sabha, Ma'am Sonal Man Singh ji. Ma'am, welcome to DD India. First of all, we're talking about women empowerment here. What does empowerment of women mean for you?
Woman in every field, right from the Vedic times, in India I'm talking about, she has been powerful. Then there were historic phases, periods, where things happened. India lost its values, its systems, but they have been re-established. And I think more than talking about equality, I think equality is a bit of a demeaning word for me. Woman in her own right, in every field, she excels. It is the man's point of view that needs to be enlightened. Thanks to our Indian civilization, our eternal values, and the enlightened leadership of our Prime Minister, Narendra Modi ji. I mean, you know, it's unbelievable what's been happening.
You also talked about the amalgamation of the ancient and the modern in India. How do you see the woman having evolved from the ancient times to 2023?
Ancient times, as we know, women were rishis, Vedic rishis also. They were great mathematicians, they were scientists, they were equal, and they were doing wonderful work in every field. Today, once again there is a hark back, there is an echo. But it's not just an echo, it has become a real voice. Who would have thought the Cobra Commandos, or the Navy, the Air Force, the Army, the Coast Guard, everywhere the women. So like that, there have been so many contributions of women. Today it's happening, going ahead. And I think modern is not so modern, it's again bringing back the old glory. And I think G20 leadership coming to India, presidency coming to India, and W20 women. I'm so happy to be part of it as a special invitee, and the sessions that I've heard, everyone applauding India's contribution, India's vision, and how it is being executed, activated in real space, not just talk. That is so wonderful.
In terms of empowering women, how do you see yourself as an artist giving out that message?
Art is called soft power culture. I call it strong power, because I think it goes direct to the heart. Art carries the messages which a lecture or an essay cannot convey, or convey forcefully, beautifully, movingly. And I think artists have a big role to play in modern India. But there is real stuff in there, I think, which needs to be still further explored.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for talking with DD India. So there you heard it, Padma Vibhushan Sonal Mansingh ji saying that the lost glory of women needs to be brought back, and that is why fora like the W20 under India's G20 presidency are needed at this time as well. With video journalist Amol, this is Shreya Upadhyay from Maharashtra for DD India.
Millets are catching a lot of attention in all the G20 meetings in India. That was also seen at the Women 20 Inception meeting. Special meals prepared from millets were served to guests as delicacies. DD India correspondent Shreya Upadhyay gets us more.
These ragi biscuits are delicious, and as India celebrates the International Year of Millets in 2023, here behind me is a millets counter where you can see ragi cookies and jowar ki chaat and bajra cookies as well. So let's talk to the man who's made all of this, who is the mind behind these absolutely delicious recipes. I'm joined by Mr. Rajesh Prabhakar, who is the head chef at the ITC in Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar.
यहाँ पर हम पूरा G20 के लिए स्पेशल हमने रागी के बिस्किट बनाए हैं, बाजरे के बिस्किट हैं, और स्पेशल जो हमने ज्वार की चाट कटोरी बनाई है, जो आजकल जो हमारे देश में पूरा जो पुराने ग्रेन्स थे उनको वापस फिर से हम उसमें कंटिन्यूअसली लाना चाह रहे हैं, तो इसलिए हम उसके तरफ ज़्यादा फोकस कर रहे हैं.
Sugar level reduction, helping fight cancer eventually, helping and sharpening the brain cells. These are the benefits of millets. Lost recipes of the grains that perhaps we have forgotten, but now we're bringing them back as we celebrate the International Year of Millets in 2023. And here we have, of course, a number of health benefits from these millets as well. So make sure you taste these ragi cookies and of course ingrain millets in your daily diet. This is Shreya Upadhyay from Maharashtra for DD India.
The first day of the Women 20 Inception meeting at Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar yesterday saw delegates being treated to a traditional welcome at the cultural night. Delegates were seen wearing Nawari sari and bangles. DD India correspondent Shyama Mishra spoke to the delegates on their experience.
I was provided this by the W20 Secretariat, and I feel incredible and I feel like a princess.
I'm wearing the Nawari sari, and I'm very honored to actually be wearing the traditional Maharashtrian sari and feeling the welcome from this region, from this city, and from India. It's my first time, so I'm really overwhelmed with this unforgettable welcome that we've had.
I'm wearing a shalwar kameez. It's a beautiful one that I found at the hotel, a wonderful boutique throughout India. They made these and he fitted it to me and he was wonderful in helping me find the right fit.
I'm wearing jewelries, so no knife but bangles, and it's beautiful. I just love it. I know that here beautiful Indian ladies wear it with their saris, with their original dresses, so I'm happy to be able to wear them tonight, and they make me feel really beautiful.
Thank you.
DD India correspondent Shyama Mishra spoke to the Dhol and Lavani performers too, who accorded a traditional welcome to Women 20 delegates. Take a look.
Chhatrapati Sambhaji Nagar Cultural Night was organized for all the W20 delegates, and this particular group, the NAR Foundation, have welcomed them by doing the Dhol, which is the Nashik Dhol, and also Maharashtra's traditional dance, which is the Lejim. Let's talk to the artists about how they feel presenting our tradition in front of the whole W20 delegates.
They are extremely happy, and I am extremely feeling proud that they are enjoying our dance, and they are also also involving in our dance and they join us, and I am extremely feeling so much proud that they join and dancing with us. Then there is so much happy feeling for me.
They were clicking pictures. They also had the gajra and they had the bangles and everything. How does it feel that these people are really enjoying our culture? They are actually getting involved in our culture.
जी वैसे तो बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है जो हमारा महाराष्ट्र का जो कल्चर है जो हमने इनके सामने जो प्रेजेंट किया है सच में हमको बहुत प्राउड फील कर रहे हैं ये मौके पे और बस थैंक यू। हमने जो किया है हमने महाराष्ट्रियन जो दर्शन रहता है महाराष्ट्रियन में हमने पूरे महाराष्ट्र की जो लोक धारा रहती है वो हमने प्रेजेंट की।
Like they have mentioned, all these delegates were really involved, engrossed in the action and in the entire performance that they have given. With camera person Amol Deshmukh, this is Shama Mishra for DD India, Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar, Maharashtra.
The first G20 Anti-Corruption Working Group meeting is set to be hosted in Gurugram from 1st to 3rd March, where thought leaders will hold deliberations on strengthening international anti-corruption mechanisms. Dr. Jitendra Singh spoke on the anti-corruption initiatives rolled out by the Government of India in recent years and expectations from the meeting. He is the Union Minister of State for Personnel in the Government of India.
Right from beginning, in 2014 itself, Prime Minister Modi had made it very clear that his government will follow a policy of zero tolerance towards corruption. And as a follow-up to that, several of those rules and laws were amended which were coming in the way of effective implementation of the anti-corruption measures, and several new provisions were also introduced to fill up the gaps which were there in proceeding against corruption. Like for example, in the year 2018, under Prime Minister Modi, the Government of India came out with what is known as Fugitive Economic Offenders Act 2018, because the earlier on the experience was that a culprit would commit the crime, would cost millions of rupees loss to the Government of India, to the Indian people, and then run away and be truant and seek refuge in some other country. So in order to check that, this law was brought out, which is proved to be quite effective. At the same time, the other commonly followed practice was that they would run away after having committed a crime of corruption and park their money in some bank or some places where it was difficult to trace it or track it. For that also, you will be glad to know that in the last 7-8 years, as much as more than 180 billion US dollars worth of money has been recovered from these offenders' accounts or their properties and deposited in the state exchequer. So there has been a very big headway in the movement against corruption, and I'm sure the other countries also would cooperate with India in carrying forward this movement against corruption.
Aizawl, the capital of Mizoram, will host the second of the 4 Business 20 India events scheduled in the northeast from the 1st to the 3rd of March. B20 or Business 20 represents the G20 business community and mobilizes views of global business leaders on global economic and trade governance. B20 provides tangible policy suggestions to each rotating presidency in order to boost economic growth and development. B20 event at Aizawl will highlight the opportunities for multilateral business partnerships that the state can offer to delegates in urban planning, infrastructure, bamboos, startups, skill development, nursing and paramedics. This 3-day event is expected to see around 500 participants ranging from ministers, senior government officials, diplomats and representatives from business community. The event will begin with a cultural evening and a welcome dinner at Raj Bhavan on the day of the arrival of the delegates. On the second day, there will be a B20 conference at Mizoram State University, followed by a cultural program. Chapchar Kot, which is a spring festival of Mizoram, will also be showcased to the delegates at the AR ground on the 3rd day. The 4 B20 events slated for the Northeast are intended to highlight the untapped potential and opportunities of the northeastern states. With India's assumption of the G20 presidency, Comptroller and Auditor General of India formally assumed the chairmanship of the Supreme Audit Institutions of G20 nations on the 31st of January. The CAG of India has now proposed the collaboration of G20 Supreme Audit Institutions on the blue economy. Addressing a conference on blue economy in New Delhi, CAG of India Girish Chandra Murmu said that cooperation and knowledge sharing among G20 nations is vital to establishing a coordinated audit response for audit of the blue economy. Take a listen.
Cooperation and knowledge sharing among the nations thus is vital to establishing a coordinated audit response to audit of the blue economy, which would strengthen good governance and public welfare. In this pursuit, SAI can scale up the audits, develop the study papers and conditions for blue economy, and make recommendations on how the government could direct their efforts and policies for the sustainable development of the blue economy of their nations. SAI can also consider developing international auditing guidelines for conducting marine audits, bringing out joint research papers on marine health, sharing practical knowledge and expertise on audit of blue economy through audits toolkits, conduct of joint cooperative audit, etc.
Earlier on Saturday, a dedicated G20 pavilion at the New Delhi World Book Fair was inaugurated by Minister of State for External Affairs and Education, Dr. Rajkumar Ranjan Singh. You may visit the G20 pavilion and know about India's G20 journey, explore a wide range of books from G20 countries and also participate in a G20 quiz. The World New Delhi Book Fair is being held at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi. And with that, we come to the close of this edition of India at G20. Thanks for watching.
Now, how critical is the kind of work you've done for the people of Australia as well as India and the world?
Some of the technologies which we are developing, Gautam, are really going to play an important role in many areas. Just to give one of the areas which we are splitting water to generate hydrogen as a clean energy source, and it's a transportable, storable and a clean energy source, for example. And we have been developing some nano electrodes for studying the brain and better understand the dementia and aging population. There's a major issues in terms of Alzheimer's disease or so. So again, we are working with our collaborators in a multidisciplinary field of stem cell biology and neurobiology or neuroscience and computer science and nanotechnology.
फूल वाला, केटरिंग वाला, बैंड वाला, ये लो भाई। बैंड बजेगी पापा, अगर गड़बड़ हुई तो गए पैसे। अरे नहीं रे, बैंक संभाल लेगा। कैसे? मैंने पॉजिटिव पे सिस्टम पे रजिस्टर किया है। बैंक को चेक्स और बेनिफिशियरीज की जानकारी दे दी है। बैंक चेक करेगा, जांच करेगा। डिटेल्स मैच नहीं तो क्लियरेंस नहीं। अच्छा, लाइए मुझे दीजिए। फोटो वाला, लाइट वाला, मंडप वाला। आरबीआई कहता है जानकार बनिए, सतर्क रहिए। बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हैं।
Unity and diversity, does it translate down to the poorest of poor? Is there a certain segment and section of society that feels that it's very marginalized and never a part of the majority opinion?
Every time we focus more on the diversity aspect, and not to the diversity aspect, but a distorted aspect of diversity extending to the extent of divisivity. So, when our Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi came, he has undertaken an uphill task.
Now, how critical is the kind of work you've done for the people of Australia as well as India and the world?
So many technologies which we are developing, Gautam, are really going to play an important role in many areas. Just to give one of the areas which we have splitting water to generate hydrogen as a clean energy source, and it's a transportable, storable and a clean energy source, for example. And we have been developing some nano electrodes for studying the brain and better understand the dementia and aging population. There's a major issues in terms of Alzheimer's disease or so. So again, we are working with our collaborators in a multidisciplinary field of stem cell biology and neurobiology or neuroscience and computer science and nanotechnology.
Hello and welcome to this special weekly show. It's called Diaspora Diamonds, which is our salute to over 32 million strong Indian diaspora present in over 200 countries worldwide. I'm Gautam Roy. Well, the show launched the same day, the same time earlier this year, around the time the 17th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas convention was held in Madhya Pradesh's Indore city. PBD provides a platform for the overseas Indian community to engage with the government and people of India and share their experiences and insights. It also helps strengthen ties between India and the global Indian diaspora and to recognize the achievements and contributions of Indians living abroad. The Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Awards are an integral part of the biennial event and are conferred by the President of India upon members of the Indian diaspora who made exceptional contribution in their chosen fields and have acted as India's ambassadors in foreign lands. Our guest this week is one such awardee this year again. We have with us Dr. Kannan Ambalam, recipient, Pravasi Bharatiya Samman Award and Associate Professor, Department of Public Administration and DM College of Business and Economics, Wolega University, Nekente in Ethiopia. Welcome to Diaspora Diamonds, Dr. Ambalam.
Thank you.
And first of all, congratulations for the award. Now, what were your first thoughts when you heard that you're getting the highest honor that the Indian government can give to an Indian living abroad?
Thank you so much for the message. Really, I was so grateful to Government of India, and I feel so humble and thankful for this highest honor. Really, I was very happy for this award.
Wonderful. And how did your family and friends feel? Were they taken by surprise, or did they feel that this is just, just fruits for your labor?
Yeah, there are some mixed reactions. There are people who really know that I deserve this award and they were happy about this one. There are people who are surprised. Those who are following me from the beginning and how I struggle in this environment and working with the local communities, they felt really very happy and they said that I deserve this award. Yeah.
Okay. Now tell us a little bit more about yourself. What are your qualifications and what exactly do you do in Ethiopia?
I started my schooling from government school in Tamil medium in government higher secondary school, Palamedu. Later I came to Madurai city where I got my bachelor degree in Thearajar College. Then I completed my MA in public administration from Madras Christian College. Then I moved to Delhi where I did in Jawaharlal University, I did my MPhil and PhD. Then I came to Ethiopia and I started my career as a lecturer in Wolega University. Later I promoted to assistant professor, then associate professor. I am teaching public administration in different courses.
So you've not been in Ethiopia for that long. Most of your life has been spent in India, and then you went to Ethiopia in recent years.
I completed in Ethiopia 14 years. Now it is my 15th year.
Okay. You've got the award in the category of community welfare. Now tell us about your related activities in a little more detail as to what all did you do as far as community welfare is concerned.
First of all, my project is a team oriented. We are working together with